Hello guys and gals! Well, I wasn't intending on doing many bonus videos, but I've had quite a few people asking me about my thoughts on the cancellation of the second generation legendary weapons. And a fair few of those people have said they would like to see a video about it, so here I am! Now, while my videos are not strictly centred around news related things, and it's more about unlocking achievements and how-tos and all that, this actually kind of falls under my category, purely because no new legendary means no new collections, and therefore no new achievements. Okay, so before I go on, I have taken the time to watch a few videos on YouTube with people's thoughts on this, and well, the search was a short one, as it seems for a lot of people, this was the final nail in the coffin for their adventures within Guild Wars 2, and I can't say as I blame them. With disappointment after disappointment since the launch of Heart of Thorns, and I'm being pretty generous here because I know a lot of people who quit the game after the death of Scarlet due to the drought of content, myself included. I'd actually quit the game for about 6 months. Anyway, we had a huge return of players for Heart of Thorns, which very quickly began to dwindle with each passing day. We are now at a point where players are just so fed up with Guild Wars 2 that they are quitting left, right and centre, and the game is becoming as popular as Guild Wars 1. Okay, I exaggerate. A hyperbole, if you will. But let's get on to the matter at hand. Now, I have listened and taken in all that Wooden Potato has said about the legendary cancellation, and I have to agree with pretty much everything he says, which is basically, stop talking out your arse, ArenaNet, is kind of what I took away from it. What's my opinion, I hear you ask? Well, I think I can give a perspective that Wooden Potatoes brought up in his video. He stated, I'm not a game developer, so I cannot criticise too much. Or words to that effect. Well, I've been in a rather similar situation. Now bear with me, this may seem like a shameless plug, but it has a point. If you've watched any of my lore videos, you'll know that I am in fact an author, and my book is called Ifrit, An Element of Nostalgia. Now, producing this book took me 2 years from start to publication. While writing my book, I had a few die-hard fans who were really interested in reading it and couldn't wait for me to release it. I made a promise to them that it would be released in early 2015, and even went as far as to put that information onto my Facebook page. From writing the book, designing the cover, hiring proofreaders and artists, editing, re-editing, never at any point did I consider pulling out a chapter just to get the book out on time. No, what I did was work harder, and in a few cases I changed parts of the book to make life a little bit easier for myself, but never did I take out huge parts that were integral to the story and by extension to what the readers deserve. Point 1. Okay, so on June the 15th, 2015, the book was released and published. Now you may be thinking, well, a book and a game are two very different things. Okay, fair enough then. Let's talk about the game I'm developing. I am just one person, so developing my own game is taking some time, and yes, I'm using a game making engine, understandably. But never at any point would I take anything out just for the sake of ease, especially if it's something I had promised to my player base. People have asked me to make them an NPC within my game. I would never say yes and then not do it. Or release the game with the promise that I will put it in later with a patch update, and then a few months down the line say, I don't have the resources to do it and I'm shifting my efforts to something else. That's just bullshit. And quite frankly, I'd rather keep my own integrity and reputation intact. Now, I'm not going to pretend that any of what I do is in the same league as Guild Wars 2, because I'd only be fooling myself. My point is, ArenaNet promised us this content, and now they're going back on their word in a pretty substantial way. losing their integrity and respect, which they really cannot afford to be losing right now, as they have already lost so much since the disappointment of the Heart of Thorns expansion. It's already been pointed out that this now falls under false advertising. In theory, we could all demand our money back, because let's face it, they sold us the expansion based on certain promises, and now those promises are not being kept. Look at it this way: if you hired a builder to construct a house for you, and then they delivered it with half a roof and then stated, sorry, we are shifting our efforts to painting the walls instead and suspending work on the roof indefinitely, you would have that builder in court suing him for every penny he is worth faster than you can say, oh my god, you're a dick. So I have to wonder, do ArenaNet really think that working on the living story will satisfy the player base and will change their minds into thinking, meh, cancelling the Legendaries was a good call? Because at this point, it doesn't matter what they release for the living world, because we will never have two versions to compare. So all we will be getting is one version, and we will never know what would have been if they hadn't cancelled the Legendaries. I just don't think it will matter how good the living season is going to be, because by making this decision, they have already lost a lot of respect and integrity, which puts them in a very sticky situation. Because people will hold on to that disgruntled feeling, and when that living story hits and we finally get some content to play, ArenaNet will be treading on very thin ice. Just one mere bug could be the final nail in the coffin for many, many players. And let's be honest, how many times have ArenaNet released an update that hasn't had at least one bug? Some of which blocked progress. With this choice to cancel legendary weapons, ArenaNet have dug themselves a rather shallow grave, and we the players are holding them at gunpoint, and we are very, very angry. One wrong move could well be the end of them, and the catalyst for all of this? One monumental fuck up of a decision to cancel something that was promised to us when we threw our money at them to buy Heart of Thorns. Now, I'm pretty sure you all came here for my opinion, so here it is. I couldn't give two shits about the second generation of legendary weapons. I mean, my Elementalist. He's got a legendary staff, the Bifrost, and a legendary trident, the Kraken. I have no intention of building other legendaries other than for something to do. I didn't buy Heart of Thorns for the new legendaries, but I'll go back to my point. The reason I'm so monumentally pissed off is purely because they have lied to me and missold me an expansion that I was already pissed off with due to the pure lack of content placed inside 4 maps that infuriated me due to the way they were designed. A promise of a legendary back item from Fractals that I've been waiting for since it was announced, but still with no news of when it will be released. Yet they release a legendary PvP back item that can be obtained. What the hell is wrong with you, ArenaNet? In the background of this video, you can see me running around my guild hall. Keep watching as I point out just a few of the bugs that still exist there, which are so small that they could be fixed in a matter of minutes. Heck, give me the capability to remove the guild flags from my guild hall and I'll sodding well pull them back myself the right way round. As a player, it would take me a matter of 5 minutes to do it myself. So for a dev, it shouldn't really take that much time. Fix the goddamn guild hall music! Why give us the option to play the caverns as background music if it doesn't work? Oh my god! It really should not matter at all. But the pure fact that it's been bugged for this long just screams to me that they really don't care. I'll go back to my game. I test play it over and over and over again. If I find a bug, I will fix it there and then. I would never leave a bug in my own game for others to encounter later. And if someone did find a bug, one, I'd be mortified. Secondly, I would make it my first priority to fix it ready for the next patch. It doesn't matter how big or small the error is. If that means putting new content releases on hold a little bit, well, so be it. I'd rather keep my integrity as a game maker to ensure that the content I'm giving out works correctly, rather than leaving bugs all over the place, which are small reminders to the players that I clearly have no sodding idea what the hell I'm doing. Now, no video of mine would ever be complete, because I make sure I finish all the work I start before publishing it, unlike someone I know, without proposing a solution to the problem at hand, namely the legendary weapons, okay? It wouldn't be fair for me to just fly off the handle at ArenaNet like I have done in this video. Sorry, it's been a long time coming, it's been building. If I wasn't prepared to at least give some sort of solution or advice. Therefore, I have taken the liberty of doing a little bit of research into weapon skins that ArenaNet could potentially use for the second generation legendaries, providing they give us the legendaries they promised in the first place, okay? They never said they were going to be good, right? So my proposal is pretty darn simple. Get the new legendaries out, all of them. They can look like crap for all I care. But if they do look crap, then you need to own up to it and tell us that you will look at updating them in the near future to smarten them up and give them better effects and whatnot. At least that way, you've given us what you promised. It's not like everyone loves the new legendaries you have already released anyway. Quite frankly, I think Nevermore looks like crap. But it didn't make me angry or prompt a snotty forum post or video, because I know that I won't love everything you release. That being said, you really need to claw back the trust you have lost and keep the promises you made to us when taking our money for the Heart of Thorns expansion. So, just in case you don't already have piles of sketches on your desks, ArenaNet, for the new legendaries, and just can't be bothered to pick one and get it out, here are some that I think would look nice. Firstly, ones that already exist in the game. The Greatsword, Caladbolg, precursor crafted from the broken Caladbolg that you get from Traherne, sorry, spoiler, that you get from completing Heart of Thorns. It's so simple. The focus, Glint's Hourglass. It can even be in its like shattered form, with the sand effect spiraling around the player's hand. Again, it's already in the game. The Torch, now this is a bit of a dodgy one. The Torch of Divine Fire or the Chaos Torch, they're the same skin. Just recolour it, broaden the end and make it look a bit more fancy. Bang, you're done. You know what I'm saying? Rifle. The Mega Laser. Come on, did you really not think of this? Just scale it down, stick a trigger on it and bang, another one done. Mace. The Vision Crystal. Put it on the end of a nice shiny handle. There's another one done. Now, for ones that exist in Guild Wars 1, and they may have Guild Wars 2 variants, but I'm not sure. The Shield. Go with Malix's Courage. Sword, the Deldrimor Sword. Hammer, the Crystal Core Maul. And the Dagger, the High Noon. They're already there in Guild Wars 1. So all you need to do is take these skins, edit them a little bit, add a few particle effects and sling them out. I'll say it again, you never promised that these new legendary weapons would look good. You only promised that you'd give them to us. One last thing that I have to say, which should go without saying, but just in case ArenaNet aren't thinking before they do it, I would very, very strongly recommend you do not release any new Gem Store weapon skins, including weapon sets from Black Lion chests. This would purely and simply enrage the player base, and I know exactly what they'll say, something along the lines of, "Oh right, so you can create a full set of weapon skins to put on the gem store to line your pockets, but when it comes to the legendaries that you promised us, you cannot deliver." And then you really will have a mass walkout on your hands. So, that's just my thoughts on this whole situation. What do you guys think? Leave your comments below and let me know. I'll catch you next time on Game Slobs. Ta-ta!